Suprabhat, 6:30 a.m. here in Italy. Today we have Akash Bhandwalkar. I don't know if that's pronounced well.
Yeah.
Welcome, Akash. How are you?
Thank you, Francesco. I'm good. Actually, thanks for inviting me here. I'm being like, this is a fanboy moment for me because I'm following you for like longer time. So initial impression was the meme lord, and then I didn't know because until then I haven't followed you. Then I saw the Docker update, and then I saw your YouTube series where you were like posting your running videos with melodious songs,
Wow.
right?
Yeah.
and
Wow.
I become your maybe 27 follower because I remember that exact number maybe, and I
Yeah.
comment on your post videos as well. So this is like a fanboy moment. I always
Wow.
wanted to meet you since the series started, and
Well,
here we
well,
are. So
well. Here we are. I'm so happy about that. And we will talk about being helpful, about his story. So let's get started. We have many topics to talk about. So please start like introducing a little bit more yourself, because we have interacted a little bit on Twitter, but not that much, let's say.
yeah,
So for me, it's easier now because I have more focus. Because when I'm on Twitter, there are so many messages that it's a little
yeah,
bit of problem for me. Now we can talk freely. So yeah, please tell me.
yeah.
Are you a developer now? Are you? Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I want to know. I want to know. Yeah.
Okay, sure. So
Yeah.
I'm Akash from the India. So I am 5 years experienced front-end developer. So I started my journey as a JavaScript developer. So I started as AngularJS, then I switched to React.js, and since then I'm working as a more as a JavaScript developer than the web developer. As in, like, I like to write a logic, but I don't like to write the CSS work. That was my journey before like 6 months. Okay, so I was more like JavaScript developer.
Okay.
So on Twitter recently, I came across some good CSS work that people are doing. For example, Cast is doing really great work. Then
She's doing
Pratham
great.
and MS Vinny Unnati, they are doing the work that I think it is impossible. So that was like the first thought. I wanted to switch to CSS because the things that you feel challenging, right? You enjoy those things doing, right? So then I tried to focus on the CSS, and I connected with a lot of people. So now I feel comfortable in the CSS as well. So right now I can call myself as a web developer from the JavaScript developer. So yeah, currently that's my the tech stack. And as I said, like, I have 5 years of experience and working in this industry, and looking forward to learn a lot of things. Last month I switched to learning AWS as well. So but I really know the small concept. Like, I started reading about VPCs and the containers, routing, all those stuff. So that is like my small term goal, to get into the AWS. Yeah,
Well,
that's
nice,
yeah.
nice, nice. And we have had Cass and Pratham both on this show. So I don't know if you
Yeah,
watched the interviews.
yeah, I have watched.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also Jay. Let's not forget about Jay,
yeah, he is a
of
big
course.
god. Yeah,
Yeah. He's on another level. So yeah, we don't even mention him because everybody know him.
he's a freakish. I mean, like, we
Yeah,
can't put him into the words. Maybe like he
yeah.
just
Yeah, yeah. So okay, so about JavaScript, how has been your first contact with JavaScript? Do you remember when you first when you started learning JavaScript? Yeah, how has been in the beginning? So
okay. So the first company I got selected from my college. So I got fired from there in 1.5 months. So, and when I got fired, so college gives you the place where the companies come and you get opportunity to go to the interview, right? And so I got placed on the knowledge of C and the Java that I had. But when I got fired, nobody was hiring for C or Java, because Java only I knew the concept, like the classes, object, and small concept, because I was a student. And the C, nobody was hiring, or there were like less opportunities for the fresher who doesn't have the experience. But for the JavaScript, I saw a lot of openings there, because there are some
okay.
platforms where you search for job, right? So there were a lot of opportunities for the JavaScript. So, and I wanted a job, so that's how I started it. And so fortunately I could grab few small concepts, do some DOM manipulation, and I got placed somehow. So switching from Java to JavaScript was too difficult, because it is being a single threaded and more based on the asynchronous programming and handling. So it was really too challenging for me to get into the industry. And once I got into the industry, the solving the real problems, right? So in the college we do small project to demonstrate our
I know.
teachers,
I
but
know.
in industry we solve a bigger problems. We work on someone's dream, right? So suppose one client may have uh, sold his house to build some project, and it gives that project to you, and it's your responsibility to complete that. So now if you are not good enough but your intentions are good, it doesn't work because it's a business again, right? So it was too difficult initially. So since then I started AngularJS, React.js, started get into the technology. And right now, as I have like 5 years experience, I read a lot of blogs, followed Udemy courses, YouTube series. So I feel now comfortable in the JavaScript. So that's how it started, and here we are.
Yeah, yeah, I really like the idea that as myself, we never say now I know JavaScript. We say now I feel comfortable. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, at least we can do some tasks, but I don't think I'll ever know the JavaScript completely. I mean,
yeah. But yeah, there are a lot of jokes about that. Yeah,
yeah, true.
yeah. So, about the CSS part, because we have known the CSS sometimes, I've seen that, for example, there is a lot of people that they questions the CSS artists. They say, "Why are you doing this? Is this useful? Why are you doing this?" But in that case, for me, it's like art is something different. But what do you think about, for example, the difference between CSS art? We know what you're talking about, and the CSS that we use, for example, for layouts, for sites. What's the difference, in your opinion? What's your idea?
Okay, cool. So basically, just practicing CSS art alone won't make you a good CSS developer. As in so CSS has lots of properties. So when I create some art, I use the limited set of properties into my art, and it looks good to see. Now the visualization, it is like visually appealing to the people, right? You
Yeah,
may get good likes and comments and all those things, but you shouldn't restrict yourself to that, right? So CSS is like too much. So for example, you are creating a web page, then you have fonts, you have font family, so you have like a lot of other properties that you don't use when you create the CSS art. So
yeah,
if you only focus on this part, that won't make you like very good developer. If you are able to use all the CSS properties and the creator art, that's great, you have a knowledge of all the CSS. But if you don't practice the web pages, then you don't get that experience to solve the web page, right? Then you will have the knowledge but you won't have the experience. So you should be trying web pages as well, you should be trying CSS arts as well.
yeah,
So why I choose that? Because in my company I work for 8 hours and I design the web pages for 8 hours, right? So I want to make something like for my pleasure. So CSS arts pleases me,
yeah,
so I want to do that. So CSS arts can be taken as like someone is really showing their patience, like it needs
yeah,
hard work. So they have a lot of shapes and they are combining together. So it has a game of patience. We get to learn a lot of things there as well. So uh, we shouldn't be saying like don't do this, or we shouldn't be saying okay only do this. So we should be smart enough to like
yeah,
uh, choose between. If you are still doing CSS art extensively, for one day, for a change, get one challenge from the, we have a lot of platforms, right? Try to build one
yeah,
page and try to apply your art knowledge into that web page. Can you create web pages from that? If no, then you need to learn the art to create the web pages as well. If you are
yeah,
able to do it quickly, okay, you are done, right? So yeah, I
yeah.
don't have like complete opinion on that, but yeah, I feel that's
Yeah. For me, they are two different things, and I really admire the people that they do the CSS art. For sure, they have this kind of knowledge that can help them. Of course, they are two different ways of using the CSS. So So thank you for this. So about your current job. So what are you currently doing? What are your which are your future plans? Because yeah, I don't know if I have stopped you, but you were, yeah, you was yeah, telling us your story. Maybe the, yeah,
Yeah,
what's on your
actually,
mind? Yeah.
yeah, about the last question, I think I was done.
No.
About your question, so currently I'm working as front end developer in like one of the organization here. So basically, I'm from Pune. So like last 1 year's focus was get into the CSS, because I was a front end developer and I wanted to build complete pages, but due to the lack of CSS, I couldn't complete the web pages. I needed to take help from the CSS developer. So we had like these two roles. Uh, so that was making me little cripple, little slow building the web pages. So CSS was my goal. So now I feel little comfortable doing it. So it is like little time consuming, but I feel okay, I can do it. Maybe it will take some time, but I know the knowledge, I have knowledge, or I'll explore the things from the Google. Uh, the next focus is to learn AWS and the CI/CD pipelines,
Nice.
because I am working on the front end for 5 years. So I think this is like the good long period that one should be focusing more into. I still want to continue front end, but I want to catch this AWS and CI/CD. AWS I have started on. CI/CD I am using jobs who has already built it. I mean, like I just need to click somewhere and make a new builds or push things to beta or stage that we have, right? So I am into that environment, but I don't write the jobs. So these two areas that I want to focus on technically.
Thank you, Akash. Thank you. Yeah. So, okay, let's talk about being helpful, because I think that one of the most important things of also for our dev community, the Twitter dev community, but also the developer tech community, is to help each other. I tweet almost every day about that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
now I would like to know what do you think about that? How this can be useful? If we should help others or not? What do you think
Yeah.
about that? What's your answer? Yes or not? Yeah.
Okay, so answer is yes, of course.
Okay.
For example, if I ask you a question, how is the world? Okay, so you tell the answer based upon the what kind of people around you, right? So if you are meeting a great people all the time, if you are meeting nice people all the time, you have like all foods, you have shelter, and you have everything. You will say world is beautiful, like I'm enjoying it, people are good, and all those stuff, right? So there are few peoples like the people around them are not helpful, they don't have good education system, so they have a lot of problems, and you ask the same question to them, they'll say the world is cruel, like world is not good, this is not the place I want to live in. I want to excel myself, but I am poor, right? So uh, so that is the same question has two different answers, right? uh, and there are two different students, one has all the education is good, like he has books, he can purchase the courses, and who is like equally talented, he is talented too, like he is not the average. Other guy who is talented but he doesn't have the resources. So if we don't provide them the resources, in the 5 years we will see that guy who doesn't have the resources, who is not compatible in the knowledge as well. So when they started, they have same knowledge, their cleverness was the same, but over the time you will see them losing the race. So, and if you ask the same question to that poor guy after 5 years, he will tell you the same answer, world is cruel, like I don't want to live here. But if we can help them initially, and he can build himself, and the same guy will tell others, okay, world is beautiful, there are people who can help us, and he himself over 5 years he can help to the 100 other peoples, right? Because he is educated such a way that there are random people who helps other. So he'll think, okay, I should be helping others. But if he doesn't get any help, he'll think nobody helps anyone, like we don't need to help anyone. So this is something I feel we should be educating people in the initial days. So there are a lot of students that I donate the Udemy courses, so that they'll understand, okay, there was a one guy, Akash, who helped me 4 years back. Now I have a job and I should be helping if I find someone who is needy, right? So we can change the mindset of some people. Definitely we cannot change the world, right? But we can try our small part. So that is one thing into my mind, and I donate one course per week. Mostly I prefer students, because over the time, because they are learning things, right? So they learn these things as well, that we should be helping others. um, so yeah, over the 7 months, I'm been donating one course per week, so I got a lot of connection now. uh, so, and most of them, like the 70% people, don't do the justice to that course. I asked them to take 100 days of challenge, please post the updates, so that you will learn something. But only 30% or 20% of them do that. But that shouldn't stop us, right? So those 20% we should be targeting. So when you help it, you should assume, okay, my help won't go to the right person, but you will hit some numbers, right? So that is the reason I want to help people and just continue the chain.
Yeah. Now I'm really happy to have invited you here, and please follow him. We should support people. I sometimes I joke about that. We should help people who help others. So help me to help others. So help him.
Yeah,
Let's help him to help others. Yeah, and I really like your idea. If we were all like you, the world would be way better, I think.
yeah,
Yeah, as you say, there are so many people that are looking for help. I think that our community, in our community, we help each other kind of a lot. What you are doing is kind of different. Thank you so much. I thank you. Yeah, I really would like to thank you for doing this, because we need people like you, because there are so many people, yeah, as you say, that they would like me, for example, to learn development, to learn how to code. But for example, I think that we should need just a little bit of help in the beginning, because in the beginning it's that one the moment that we need the help. Then we can walk, yeah, with our
yeah,
feet. But in the beginning, maybe, yeah, we should just need someone who just help us, yeah, to get started in the beginning. So yeah, so for example, I have. Like a hundred of messages every day, like how can I start doing this, how can I start being a developer, or for
yeah,
example, I'd like to code, what should I do, because maybe they find me on Twitter, and they ask me what should I do in the beginning. So I think in the beginning, for example, also for me, when I started getting serious about coding, in the beginning you are a little bit lost, because you don't know what is for API, what is a full stack developer, what is Node, Java. There are
yeah,
so many words. There are too many technologies. That, yeah, in the beginning you don't even know what you want to be. So that's the hard
yeah,
part.
actually,
That's the hardest part. Yeah, do you agree with that? Because it's so yeah, big word. We call this the developer word, but there are words inside that. Yeah.
yeah, actually,
So
yeah,
yeah. Just for example, just CSS art is just a total word. Yeah, for
yeah,
that. So yeah. So thank you for doing this. Yeah, I hope that people can understand this, because even I've done a lot of donations, some giveaways. I'm not telling this yeah here, but yeah, sometimes even we are not that rich. Let's say that we just want to help each other. So
yeah,
yeah, so thank you really for doing
yeah.
this.
And
Yeah,
one point I want to add, like, you don't like to speak about that work, right? So
yeah.
that I was doing for like 4 or 5 months initially. uh,
Hmm.
when people started tweeting about Akash help me, then other people sent me message, I want to help too. So when you speak about that, the people you inspire, right, they'll help too. So that change becomes, so yeah, it's your choice after all, but
Yeah,
speaking about this work can motivate others, so
yeah,
we
yeah,
make it. So recently I got a help from one random person. He saw me doing this and he sent me money directly, and so that
wow.
I can buy 6 courses. And he said, don't take my name anywhere, but like send these 6 courses to the people who deserves it. So the speaking out can give an advantage as well. So yeah, it's your decision.
That's yeah, that's great. That's great. But yeah, so yeah, thank you for this. I don't know if you, I don't know if you are you would you like in the future maybe create something for you, something some video courses. Have you ever thought about that or no? So you can just give away your course. That could be also be a promotion, maybe in the future. I don't know. Have you ever thought
Yeah,
about that?
actually. Yeah, actually, I thought about creating YouTube channel, and you are tempting me a lot since like last 1 or 2 months. The way you are talking about um, you can start if you want to, right? You are not asking people who don't want to start. You are asking people who want to start but they fear to come on the camera on the YouTube, right? So that is one thing I wanted to start a YouTube channel. I'm preparing on the content for the past 1 month. One thing I got succeeded is that initially I thought I won't start the channel because my friends will make fun of me, my colleagues will make fun of me, I will get more dislike than the like, and
Yeah.
so I'll get wrong comment. So that thought was there, and I
I
remember your talk with the Seema that when you started YouTube channel, you had that thought in mind that I'll get the negative comment, but I am prepared for that. I won't stop. So,
yeah.
so
So
that actually
yeah.
made me.
So let's be prepared for that. But I think let me say this, that maybe you can get way more positive feedbacks than what you thought. But, yeah, because sometimes we have some different perception of ourselves. So usually is worse than the others think about
Yeah,
us. So yeah, so I I'm doing this kind of thing because I've been there. So this is why I'm doing this. So I think that I can understand which are the problems, the excuses that we use. So I know every possible excuse. So you can't lie to me, really. So
yeah,
yeah, and the for me, for example, the important thing is to get started in any way. I started with making running videos, so
yeah,
there is nothing. Yeah, it was neither code related. So I just started to just click the upload button. I worked on that, and then now I'm here talking with you. I'm
yeah.
a journalist now. I don't know why, but yeah, so,
You take a lot of interviews. Yeah,
but it's because I like to talk to people. Yeah, maybe because I'm old, so I like to talk, just not chat. So I think that you should do that. You should not wait for 2021 because now we are this idea that okay, let's stop this now for 15 days.
yeah,
And I think the secret is to start with something very small. For example, my first Docker videos is just 3 minutes. I'm not here repeating how much time I put to do that. Really, a lot of time. But yeah, maybe if you start small and then you can move on. You can choose your path. If you start, and I can also say you that you can even put your video down. I've never done this, so but there's also that chance. So in that case, if you really hate yourself, what you said, if you said, for example, something wrong, you really don't like that, you can even, I've seen people that they do that. I tend to not do that because I want to show my mistakes to people so they can make jokes about me. But maybe okay, but maybe there is someone who is watching my videos and say, okay, if this Italian guy made this and has done so many mistakes, the lights, the microphone, the audio, I can do that too. So I think that I leave a lot of videos even in the future because they can be useful for someone by seeing my mistakes that I did. For example, this kind of interviews. There are maybe now I'm a little bit better, a little bit, but the first one there was like the first one I was like sitting like that. Like that, so it's yeah. After two interviews in that way, my spine said that you can do that in that position. So yeah, for example, yeah, I'm thinking about that, but that's it. So yeah, why not? You should try to do that. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. You look fine also on camera. There's no problem. But you can also
Thank you.
you can also show yourself. Yeah, there are so many ways, and of course we are developers, so we can choose to show our face or show little in the circle here. Okay,
Yeah,
so yeah. I have done a video some days ago that you should never force yourself. You should put yourself in the best condition. conditions to do something, because if someone tells us to do that thing, yeah, usually it doesn't work. I know that because I was a teacher, a coach. So if I say do that, sometimes the people, you should say that, yeah, in the proper way, yeah. So yeah, thank you thank
Yeah,
you for, yeah, yeah.
yeah, I'll take these points. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, and yeah. Also, yeah. Can you talk about, for example, ambitions? So I seen, for example, I am very ambitious, even if if maybe you don't see that, because I really like. Maybe ambitious is a word that we need to explain, because I think you can ambitious. For me, it means that you want to achieve something. You work on that every day. Of course, this should be always done in a good way. So never, yeah, never by hitting, hurting other people. But what do you think about that? Also, for example, sometimes maybe we tend to to mess ambitiousness with calmness. So maybe we see just a calm person and say, "Oh, that person is fine," but
All good.
maybe, yeah. So what do you think? What do you think about that?
Yeah, actually, so these 2 points should be like considered together. Like you should be calm, of course, you should be. You should be ambitious, yes, you should be. So these 2 points has to be there. If one is like only ambitious or like too ambitious, like desperate about the things to happen this way only, like if he wants the 100, then he wants the 100. He doesn't satisfied on the 99. So that is something doesn't work with everyone, because there are some superhuman people, like they have superpowers, so they are too ambitious and they leave everything and they just run towards the goal, right? But the common people may not find this like effective into their life. Okay, so putting your goals and the chasing that is the ambition, right? So sometime you may not land up with achieving everything that you have planned, right? But you have achieved like more than what you were like when you have started. So at that point, that calmness or like comes into the picture and we see ourselves successful, because considering getting everything that we have planned will always give you the you will that will tell you that I am a failure because I haven't achieved everything. So that is good or bad too. Okay, and the having calm all the time, seeing everything is good. If I failed, I'm good. Like if I haven't achieved this, I'm good. So that is not good as well, right? So we should have the combination of this ambitiousness and the calmness together, so that it will make you the happy. So you should be sleeping well in the night. You should be feeling your presence. You should be enjoying yourself, right? So you shouldn't be feeling tired all the time because you just want to make that inch more and inch more. So that is something I would recommend everybody to have, that the calmness and that ambitionness to go together, and you enjoy yourself. I mean, like this take or this job or like everything will not be there maybe, or you will not be as good as you are today. You might not run as fast as you are doing today, but you should be like reading the symptoms. You should be like behaving accordingly, and you should be enjoying your life at the 80s the same way that you are enjoying now. So that is something I believe.
I really like this because I don't know, but I feel like this. So I try to be calm, to think, but I really have some ideas also for the futures. I have so many ideas. I try to make them real. Yeah, and also, yeah. So this is, I think that what you say, it's important. I think also one important thing is to, we should know ourselves. So we should know our limits. For example, when I was younger, I was just pushing myself to the limits until, yeah, I felt asleep on the keyboard. So yeah, it was it was yeah, maybe different. Now I'm balancing way more. I know myself. I know when I should stop. For example, now in the evenings, when I start feeling tired, for example, before I would just say, okay, let's keep going for yeah, another couple of hours, and they become maybe 6 hours. Then I went to sleep. Then I woke up maybe very late. I know maybe someone could be shocked to hear that, but it was like that. Now I know myself more. So when I start feeling tired, and I feel that I'm not productive more. I go to sleep and then I wake up in the morning earlier, like I did, for example, this morning. So yeah, maybe when we are younger, maybe we feel like you say that you are like superhumans, and so we push ourselves more. Now I work way more on balancing, because that's very important. I try to exercise every day. Usually I do that in the morning. I'm prepared, as you said.
Yeah,
Once I stop this interview, I'll go working and try to record something. I don't know if I can do that. Yeah,
yeah,
there are good habits that you should have also as a developer. Yeah, so this is very important, I think. Yeah, as you said, to know yourself, to be ambitious, but also know which are your limits, and of course, as I said, be ambitious, but do that in the proper way.
yeah,
Never hurt others, at least. Yeah,
yeah.
so yeah. So so thank you for this. Yeah, so let's talk. Thank you. Let's talk a little bit about socials, because where can we find you? What do you think is the best use of socials that we can make? I discovered that, let's say, socials, the proper way of using socials, I think, just in 2020. Maybe it can sound strange, but exactly 1 year ago, I was just coding by myself without using socials at all. So I never use. So my online presence was zero, and now I'm here talking with you, making interviews on YouTube.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that? What's the best way we can use?
Okay. Yeah, actually, I see a lot of people's complaints that the social medias are like distracting us from the studies and work and everything. And what happens, like there are good and bad ways, right? So we meet random peoples on the social media.
Yeah.
And now, for example, I meeting you is a good thing that happened with me, right? So because like we get to learn from each other. There are a lot of peoples on the Twitter that I know and I get inspired from them. And Twitter I only use for my tech stuff, because on Twitter there are a lot of negativity as well. There are political tweets, or like there are religious tweets, there are like country hates happens on the Twitter as well, right? So there are lots of things are happening, but we made our circle such a way that we'll get the notification only for the technical stuff, or like the tutorials or the updates that people do, for example 100 days of challenge. So that is a good use of the Twitter. So if otherwise, like if you use the Twitter the way other social platforms are, then you'll, while studying, if you open the Twitter, you get the news of somebody of the other religious brutally killed someone else, and your focus gets lost, right? So you should know what. So Twitter is for something, like my Instagram is for my personal updates, like what my friends are doing, what my family is doing. So you shouldn't be too technical all the time, right? We want to know what my brothers is doing, like in the other city, what my school friend is doing somewhere else. So maybe like Instagram for me is for that only, to get the update from my friends. So Twitter may be only for the tech stack, and Facebook may or may not, I may or may not use it. But for students, what's happening, because they are getting into this social media for the first time, because I am using this media for the 8 or 10 years, so I know the disadvantages of it, right? But the student doesn't know it. He just get fascinated by lot of photos, videos, lot of stuff. He gets distracted. So what he does, he wastes his 1 month of time, get addicted to it, and uninstall it, so that he want to focus on the study. And once he uninstall it, he started missing the WhatsApp. So while he's studying, he is missing the Facebook, or he is missing the WhatsApp. So we are not teaching the student how to use social media. We are teaching the student to not to use the social media. So until we teach them how to use it, they won't be able to use that properly. So I think the answer would be, find your ways, the best you can use the social media, because this is the great platform. When the Google is down, on the first minute you get the update on the social media, right? We don't get that update in the newspaper or on the
Yeah.
YouTube, or
No more.
we get that notification on the Twitter. So that's the power of it, like instantly you get the news.
Yeah.
So we should be smart enough to use that.
Yeah, and of course, not on YouTube if Google is down, because if that is down, you can't get the news from that. Sorry for that.
Yeah,
I needed to do that. I was a bit worried about that because I had something to do.
so
But
it happened like I give the interview to see my next day YouTube is down. So see the
yeah,
problem.
yeah. I should add a disclaimer when I do this kind of challenges on YouTube. If YouTube is up, because otherwise people can say, "Oh, you failed your challenge," but if I can't upload, that's impossible.
Yeah.
They were fast. They were fast. So
Yeah.
yeah, thank you. I think that Twitter is just just a little word inside. For example, in the beginning, I didn't use the Twitter in this way. At the start of this year, I started just following only people that posts maybe 90% of times about coding. There are some exceptions, but there are like two, three people, and this changed my way of using Twitter. So I get these questions many times, like what should I do about my Twitter account? For example, I started to, as you said, to remove distractions. So I stopped following people that are just famous, for example. So yeah, because I wanted that when I am on Twitter, I want to talk about coding. It's just just a place when I know that I can talk about JavaScript, Python. Yeah, let's say the 90% of the times. There are some on the weekends. We can just go a little bit off topic, but usually also this is what helped me. Yeah, also to grow, to get some followers, because you are there trying to being useful, talk about coding functions. So you are there to talk about coding. That's it. So what to say? I think that distractions. It's really the problem of maybe this era. I don't know, but because it's very hard to stay focused. It's hard for me,
Yeah.
and also for
Yeah.
other people. I think maybe for younger people could be also even harder, maybe, because
Yeah.
yeah they just yeah they the internet already existed when they was born. Yeah, for me,
Yeah.
for example, it's not. So I know what is to stay without without internet. Yeah. So thank you for saying this. We should use the socials in the proper way. It's like the word. You can do bad things and good things. You can
Yeah.
and there are a lot of distractions even without the internet. But maybe it's easier to avoid them because there are so many distractions that are not connected to internet. But
Yeah.
So thank you for this because and I've seen so many people that I know also they found jobs on Twitter. So even for example, if you are looking for a job, maybe in that case you should really be focused on having, for example, an account. Focused on looking for a job, because maybe if you have everything, if you have a job, if you are happy, you can also post some random things. But in the case if you're worried, for example, about the job, some occupations, be employed somewhere, maybe that could be a good use of socials. Yeah. So
Actually. Yeah.
maybe some people don't realize that, but it can really be useful.
Yes.
I know many people. I couldn't say their names maybe, that they found the jobs opportunities as freelancing, and also job occupation.
Yeah.
Now we live where we a lot of us we work remotely. I don't know if you working remotely or not
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Yeah.
You said that. For example, I started working remotely when on the lockdown, on the quarantine. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it. Yeah. Just a last question, then we can go. What's the situations in India for the developers? Because I've had here a lot of people from India. I think like the 10% or 20% of my interviews are with people with you, because I really love you. But what's the situation, for example, where do you live? Because I've heard some strange things, like people underpaid. So can you tell me what's the situation there? Then we can say goodbye.
Okay, sure. So yeah, we can see it from the what as a country we are doing. So we have like great service-based company. Like we have a lot of employees. The strength is too big. So we are actually learning that on the ground level, as you said, right? So there are like more engineers and the less jobs. So there you will see the internships are unpaid. There you will see the good developers for the 2 years they are getting really less salary, that they could only afford living. And because the jobs are into the metro cities, so those small salaries won't work in the metro cities. In smaller cities, that is a good amount. uh, but the developers, like as a service-based country, service-based industry, India is doing really great. We still don't have a products like Google or Facebook, right? So you don't really hear about the big product from the India. So but still we are growing, like the small age industry. On the job side, it is the same situation that every industry has, right? So if there are like more candidate and the lesser jobs, so the candidate will compromise on the lesser salary or more. But over the experience, people are really doing good. They are trying to become excellent. So yeah, I see very promising situation here. But on the unpaid part, that's the story of the numbers, candidate versus the number of positions that we have.
Yeah, let's see. Thank you, Akash. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So have a nice day. Now I think that I'll go to work now. So let's meet on Twitter. Please follow him on Twitter. Let's help him to help others. You can put other links. Do you use any other socials? You use LinkedIn or other socials? I don't know if you use them or maybe not.
I use LinkedIn. I use, so I'll send you that link.
Send me the link. Just go there, follow him everywhere, please. So we're done now.
Thank you so much, Francesco, for having me. I followed this series, as I told, from the initial days. So
and follow your video and comment your video, please.
Sure. See you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Wait a moment, se n'è andato.